Hunting wild boars in Chaparral, California, is no free-for-all. The law here is strict. Hunters must be licensed and may only use legal weapons such as firearms or bows. But even with full compliance, the hunt is no easy task. Boars in this region are cunning, tough, and highly alert. Still, our hunting team headed out, because if we let our guard down for even a day, the boars would be back, wreaking havoc in the city. After discussing our strategy, our team split up, each armed and scanning the brush for any signs of movement. About half an hour into the search, I had my first encounter. A massive wild boar suddenly charged down the slope ahead, crashing through the underbrush directly toward me. With only 4 meters between us, I held my breath, steadied my aim, and pulled the trigger. The first shot staggered it, but tried to turn and flee. I quickly followed up with a second shot, this time a clean kill. Not far off, our hunting dogs had picked up a fresh scent. I followed the sound of barking to find a pair of boars sneaking through the trees. A few quick shots rang out. Startled, the boars bolted uphill. I calmly tracked them through the scope, my view partly blocked by thick branches. But years of hunting had honed my instincts. I waited for the perfect moment, then squeezed the trigger. Another successful takedown. While moving along the mountain's edge toward another section of forest, I encountered yet another giant boar. Boars are smart. They often use patrol paths, game trails, or small dirt roads for easier travel. That's why hunters often find them lurking along forest roads. But unlike deer, they don't cross gently. They rush, giving us only seconds to react. Miss that window and they're gone. After those tense moments, we moved into another stretch of forest where boars often travel in herds. I picked a high, rocky outcrop for a better vantage point and waited. Sure enough, a group of more than 10 boars came charging through my line of sight. Excited, I leveled my gun and fired a few quick shots. But unfortunately, none found their mark. The herd vanished behind a hill in a cloud of dust, leaving only shaking leaves and a trail of broken branches. Not long after, I spotted a lone boar wandering across an open patch. My gunshot startled it, and the boar shot forward like an arrow, weaving through the bushes. These clever animals rarely run in a straight line, darting in and out of the brush, making it tough to track and shoot. Not every shot will land, and you just have to accept it. As the sun began to dip, our hunt continued. We shifted into flatter, lower terrain. Suddenly, we heard snorting from within the dry shrubs. I could tell a boar was very close. Unaware of the danger, the boar trotted across my line of fire. I held my breath, released the arrow. It struck cleanly in the head. The animal collapsed instantly. Louisiana, located in the southern United States, is well known for its dense swamps and untamed wilderness. These rugged natural conditions make it one of the most ideal havens for wild boar hunting. But the complex terrain and humid climate mean that every hunt here isn't just about skill. It's a real test of patience and grit. Our destination this time was a licensed hunting ground in northern Louisiana. Once we arrived, we quickly spread out to our vantage points, eyes scanning every direction.
God.
Look, there, down below. This time, we let Alicia, the only woman in our group, take the shot. The boar dropped instantly. A clean takedown, marking our first successful hit of the day. A pre-built hunting blind allowed me to stay hidden from both the boar's sight and scent. Peering straight ahead, I spotted a small group of wild pigs. They weren't particularly large or numerous, but they were too distracted by the bait we'd set to notice any danger.
You smoked him.
Yes,
I fine-tuned my scope, lined up the shot, and locked on. Now is the time. One gentle pull the trigger, bang. A clean, crisp gunshot echoed. One of the pigs took the bullet straight on. That meal they were so absorbed in turned out to be its last.
I shoot one. I don't want to I'm gonna shoot one. Why you?
while I was still scanning the area for more signs of movement. Baldric, one of our veteran hunters, had spotted an entire sounder of wild boars, big and small, all jostling around for food. He focused on the two largest in the group, staying concealed behind a tall tree near his stand. Instead of firing immediately, Baldric waited patiently, letting the pigs fully drop their guard. A loud shot rang out. This hunting zone was massive, so Lloyd opted to hop in the truck and explore the area for better opportunities. Up ahead, we spotted an automatic feeder, definitely a hot spot for boars. Lloyd stopped the vehicle, stepped out carefully, and moved in. As expected, the pigs had already arrived, lured in by the scent of bait. Finding the perfect angle, he held his breath, locked onto a target, and squeezed the trigger. Boom, a clean pinpoint shot. Another solid trophy added to the haul. As the sun dipped below the tree line, we were making our way back along a narrow trail when we suddenly spotted some familiar silhouettes. Whoa, there were so many of them. From young piglets to hefty adults, they were all grazing without a care. I picked out the biggest, strongest looking one for the shot. My heart was racing, but I stayed composed. When it stepped into my sight line, I pulled the trigger. Just like that, I was down. A rush of victory surged through me. Deep in the central part of the hunting zone, Jason had locked onto a lone boar slowly weaving its way through thick pine cover. It moved cautiously, pausing every few steps as if sensing danger in the air. Jason didn't let it get away. He raised his rifle and steadied his aim. Seconds passed in suspense. Boom! A powerful shot shattered the stillness. The boar, a massive 200-kilogram beast, dropped not far from where it stood. Take a look, its dark, bristled coat stood out like a shadow against the forest floor. Tension, adrenaline, and pure suspense. These are the unforgettable emotions that come with wild boar hunting. But this journey isn't just about the thrill. It carries a greater mission: to protect crops, restore ecological balance, and reduce the damage caused by these destructive animals. And just like every time, we began another wild boar hunt today. Wasting no time, the moment we reached the mountain trail in our trusty vehicle, we released our hunting dogs to scout freely. Only about 10 minutes later, they erupted in frantic barking, a hopeful signal that a boar had been spotted. I rushed in, gun raised and ready. There it was. I moved quickly, adjusted my aim, and then, boom! A clean opening shot ended the chase in an instant. The boar dropped right where it stood. Hunting dogs truly make a huge difference. Thanks to them, we didn't need to wear ourselves out combing the vast area. They led us straight to the prey. Oh my God, look at that. Not one, but two wild boars came charging straight at us. My heart was pounding, but I kept my breath steady and fired 2 quick shots. In less than 5 seconds, both boars were down in a cloud of dust. An intense and exhilarating encounter. Once again, our loyal dogs came through. Hearing them barking in the distance, we tracked a boar attempting to flee. But this one didn't run away in fear. It charged straight at us with ferocity. Luckily, Roy was ready. One powerful shot was all it took to bring the aggressive boar crashing down. A call came in from one of our teammates. A boar had been spotted on the narrow trail ahead. We rushed forward, just in time to see it bursting into view. Without hesitation, we lined up the shot and nailed it. Another success, another trophy in our wild boar hunting journey. The chase was heating up. From our vantage point, we spotted a dense group of wild boars below. This was our moment. I singled out a boar that had broken away from the herd and quickly took my shot, but missed.
Oradan geçti. Kulağını sarıldı.
We didn't give up. We immediately pursued it downhill, pushing forward until we found the perfect position. This time, the shot hit. The boar collapsed and rolled down the slope. Mission accomplished. The terrain here was wide and densely forested, not ideal for spotting these clever, elusive creatures. They knew how to stay hidden and moved with surprising agility. After nearly an hour of searching, we finally spotted them on a nearby ridge. We couldn't let this golden opportunity slip away. Rushing to higher ground, we took aim and fired. A clean hit brought one boar down instantly, while the others scattered in fear. Wild hogs first appeared in Texas in the late 17th century, originally just a few stray animals. But over time, their numbers have exploded to over 2 million, causing more than $500 million in damage each year to agriculture and the environment. With the situation spiraling out of control, Texas authorities have taken drastic action, organizing helicopter hog hunts, turning the skies into a battlefield against these destructive beasts. We lifted off right as the clock struck 4 p.m. The helicopter soared into the sky, marking the beginning of our battle against the wild hogs. Look over there. Isn't that a massive herd of hogs? They're everywhere. I quickly loaded my rifle, held it steady, and began to take aim. The roar of the engine blended with the rapid-fire gunshots. With my opening volley, I landed a clean hit. The rest of the herd scattered in panic at the sound of gunfire, but we immediately gave chase, closed in fast, and opened fire. Within seconds, several more hogs were down. In another part of the sky, Neil's chopper was circling above the fields, scanning for me. With years of hunting under his belt, Neil had no trouble locking onto targets and taking them down with precision as soon as they entered his sights. Our team pushed onward toward a wide, open grassland. This time, Ralph was the shooter. The helicopter dropped to a lower altitude, giving us the perfect angle for a clean shot. Ralph steadied his aim and unleashed a barrage of bullets. Wherever we flew, hogs fell. The entire area turned into a relentless sweep, leaving no room for escape. What we really wanted was to find larger herds, since they cause the most destruction and reproduce at an alarming rate. After about 10 minutes of circling, we spotted the perfect target. We moved in swiftly. I didn't hesitate. I squeezed the trigger without delay. But with the constant vibration of the rotor, bullets sometimes veered off course. Often, we had to fire multiple times before finally bringing them down. The next morning, we were back in the air, ready to hunt again, this time with a new companion joining us. Our first destination was a stretch of land bordering the fields. It didn't take long before the first target revealed itself, a lone hog sprinting across open ground. But it couldn't outrun the hail of bullets raining down from above. It collapsed almost instantly. The helicopter pressed on steadily. This area wasn't dense enough for the hogs to hide, so no matter how fast they ran, there was no escaping their fate. Everyone stayed locked in and laser-focused, aiming and firing with deadly precision. In the blink of an eye, gunfire echoed across the sky, and the hogs dropped like flies, scattered across every stretch of land we passed. It was an inevitable fate for these invasive creatures, whose rampage has haunted this region for far too long. Hog after hog fell, so many that we lost count. But no matter how many we took down, it still felt like just a drop in the ocean compared to the explosive reproduction rate of this species. What started as a seemingly peaceful morning quickly turned into chaos for the entire village. The farms had been completely torn apart. At first, everyone blamed the coyotes, longtime troublemakers in the area. But after days of silent surveillance, the truth finally came to light. It wasn't the coyotes, it was a pack of wild boars behind the destruction. Rage flared like a wildfire, and a few brothers-in-arms knew we couldn't just sit back anymore. It was time to grab our guns and hunt these beasts down to the very end. Egbert and I spent about an hour scouting around the farm and the nearby woods, searching high and low for any sign of boars, but nothing. So, we ended up taking a seat beneath a tree. And as luck often has it, they showed up when we least expected it. The boars came straight to us. I immediately raised my rifle and took aim at the lead hog. One shot, just one, and it dropped flat on the ground. So what do you think? Not a bad shot, right? But the quiet didn't last. From the thick underbrush in the distance, another group of wild boars appeared, larger and even more numerous, making their way toward a watering hole near our hiding spot. Carefully choosing his target, Roger steadied his breathing and pulled the trigger. With a clean, decisive shot, one of the boars fell. These wild boars are known for being tough and fast, but even they can't outmatch a seasoned hunter like Roger. We returned to the spot where we had preset a food dispenser. Just as expected, the irresistible scent lured in a whole crowd of boars. I stayed perfectly still, focusing all my attention on the target ahead. The shot rang out, sharp and precise, bringing the animal down. It was a good-sized hog. The number of boars we'd taken down was steadily growing. Patience is an art, and Egbert mastered it to perfection. He barely moved, blending seamlessly with nature. And then, as a wild boar stepped perfectly into his sights, one shot dead center, the boar collapsed instantly, lying motionless on the ground. This morning's hunt was extra special with the presence of Kiva. She shared that she had hunted before and wanted to relive the thrill of chasing prey deep in the forest. After a long wait, the first target finally appeared, a rather large boar. Without hesitation, she fired. The shot echoed with force and confidence. Though the boar initially ran off, the wound it sustained quickly took its toll. It dropped not far from where we stood.
He stopped in scent marks so many times I thought he was trying to eat.
Well, that's what I thought he was doing too.
After that, I continued pursuing other targets as the atmosphere grew increasingly tense and dramatic. The shadows of these invaders kept flickering in and out of sight among the brush, forcing every one of my senses into high alert. But with skills honed and refined over time, I managed to take one down with a single well-placed shot. Not a bad outcome at all.